only feel like I literally have like 10 minutes to film this, so let's see how this goes. Hey y'all, it's your girl Kenzie and welcome back to my channel. So, like I mentioned in my last video, to start off Halloween or the month of October, I was gonna film a makeup tutorial video every single Friday leading up to Halloween. And on Tuesday, I am gonna do a book review on some of the most scariest books that I've recently read so far or even reading right now. And that's gonna be uploaded every Tuesday up until Halloween. So I found this book months ago. Actually, no, I found this book years ago when I was in high school that I bought off my iPhone using the iBooks app years ago, and I don't think I've ever read it at all. And so I was just like going through some of my books on there and I was like, hey, I never got to read this. So I placed it onto my Kindle and I read it back in like during the beginning of COVID. And surprisingly, it was in a very okay book. I just can't wait to start talking about it and all that. But before we get into that video, if you can see, I am wearing a very funny, kind of spooky-ish, not really spooky-ish, hoodie. I don't have a lot of scary stuff, guys. Like, that is surprising. I was like thinking, it's like, I don't have anything scary except for supernatural stuff and my little Hocus Pocus shirt. So I'm going to try to find the most scariest stuff and try to wear that during my book reviews type view for this month. But before I get into this video and talk more about the book, if you're new to my channel, it's the first time seeing my face, hi, I'm Kenzie. You should really hit the subscribe button down below and click that bell, the post notifications, so you get notified every time I post a new video every single week because of everything I'm doing this month. Now without further ado, let's get into this video. So by the title of this book or this video, I am doing The Ghost in the Graveyard. I am doing The Ghost in the Graveyard. This is the Night Games book series. I want to say on a scale of 1 to spooky or 1 to scary or something, I would give this probably like a 5 to 6 because it was kind of like pretty, there's so much hair on my face, because this was like pretty out of the norm. I just want to say it's not like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. It's just like very, again, out of this norm. I found the book on Amazon already, and this is the cover art for the book. It is really cool. I actually love it. That's kind of what got to me as well as that. Now, there is basically 5 books in this series, and I've only read the first book. I already bought the second book already, but I'm not going to do a review on the second book for this month. So you guys know the gist of this. If you do not know, I read the reviews and I give you my opinions on the reviews as well, and then we go back up to the description of the book and we read it, and I go over the characters and a little bit of the main points, just a smidge, but not much. So just looking at this has a 4.5 out of 5-star ratings, which is pretty good. This has over 1,912 global ratings. Again, like I mentioned in my Heartland book review, that I haven't seen a lot in the books that I read recently. So seeing 1,900 reviews, that must mean that a lot of people have read this book and actually know about it. So I'm going to start the time lapse of me reading the reviews and go from there. Alrighty, so I read some of the reviews. I read the 1 to 3-star ratings. The 1 star has a 4-point rating, or percent. The 2 stars has 6%. 3 stars has 13%, 4 stars has 28%, and 5 stars has 50%. I try not to read a lot of the 5-star reviews because then it's just not the greatest. And of course, well, I mean, they are the greatest, but it's like, we already know the book is great and all that. I just want to get to the nitty-gritty type of stuff as well. So a lot of the 1-star ratings were kind of like saying how They didn't like the names of the characters. They didn't like the storylines. I mean, that was basically all of them as well. Some of them were like giving spoilers away, which is basically what reviewers do. Others were like, it was a waste of time. I only read 3 pages of it. I only read a couple pages. People were like, oh, it was good up until halfway through the book, and then it went downhill from there. And I can understand that for sure. That's why I said it was an okay book type deal. It isn't the greatest like spooky story as well. That's why I gave it to a 4 or 5, you know, rating on a spooky scale. Alright, so this is a description of the book. It says, Grateful Night can't catch a break. After a series of failed relationships, the last of which left her destitute. I hope I'm saying that right. I can't speak today. She takes advantage of her father's offer to live rent-free in a property he hasn't been able to sell. But feeling at home in a house on the edge of a graveyard isn't easy, especially when things go bump in the night. The only positive is the stunning cemetery caretaker, Rick. Despite her resolve to end her pattern of relationship mistakes, she literally can't keep her hands off of him. The intensity of her attraction seems almost magical. Once a spirit manifests in her suitcase, Grateful can no longer deny that the house is haunted. Rick has a dark secret and has everything to do with her personal history. The house and the spirit who warns her about both. Witty witches, seductive vampire, and swoon-worthy immortals come together in this page-turning paranormal romance/urban fantasy series. So as you can tell, like I said in the beginning, this is more going over the supernatural type of thing. So let's just go over the main characters. And luckily I've written down a few of the main characters as well. There's Grateful, who is the big main character. There's Michelle, who's her best friend, who shows up a few times in the book. Logan, who is a ghost. Rick, who is the caretaker. Prudence, who is the owner of the house before Grateful moved in. And then there's Grateful's dad, which only gets mentioned a few times as well. And there's Marcus and Julius, who are vampires. So the main story about this is that Grateful, you know, has hard times. Her last boyfriend left her, you know, out of money. So she does go to this house, and her father was like, yeah, this woman Prudence said that she wanted you to move in, but the house really belongs there for you. And so she kind of finds that odd and everything, because she only met Prudence like once or twice as she can remember. So yes, there is an attractive caretaker named Rick, and he is very important to the story, as well as Logan, who is the ghost of the house as well. It is very known in the book that Grateful actually does not a resurrection, but that she figures out that she is a reincarnation of a witch/supernatural hunter, which again is why I'm in my supernatural sweatshirt. She's kind of like the Winchester brothers, but not really at the same exact time. So Rick is like her husband in her past lives, and he's an immortal person. And they explain more in that book of how he became immortal and why she keeps dying over and over and over again. Prudence met Grateful in her past life before, and even told her that she will watch over the house until she is ready to move in her next life. And Logan, like I mentioned, is a ghost. He kind of has a crush on Grateful, and Grateful likes him as well, but you know, because of the reincarnation thing, she has a more passion for Rick as well. And like the reviews have mentioned, that I did not even mention before, that the book talks about sex, so this is a very adult book. It literally gets into the nitty-gritty of it. So if you're 18 plus, or if you're 16 and you know all the positions, you can go ahead and read it. But this book is really good. I would have to say it is a little bit difficult to get into type of deal. I did get into it pretty easy because I did like the supernatural sort of thing as well, but I feel like the storylines kind of didn't go together, partially here and there. But it is a good book as well, so you guys should go onto Amazon, any of the local book places that you find and try to find the book because it's a really good read. Wow, this video is like very short. Usually when I do book reviews I do pretty long, but I'm trying not to keep it very long. So with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this video so much, please give it a very big thumbs up because you know that's very helpful. Comment down below what do you want to see for next week's video. All my social media will be linked in the description below. You know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, all that will be down in the little video box below. And like I said in the beginning, guys, you should really hit the subscribe button down below or right there. And you want to check my last video, it'll be right there. I love you guys all so much, and I'll catch you Friday with a very spooky video. Bye, guys.